Hold on, Lions Nation. What I'm about to share with you could be the game-changing piece of information that shifts our entire playoff trajectory. And I'm not talking about some distant possibility or off-season speculation. This is happening right now, and the clock is ticking louder than you think. Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, where you get the freshest intel, the deepest analysis, and the most reliable rumors about our beloved Detroit Lions. I'm bringing you something today that has the potential to elevate this roster to championship caliber status, and trust me, you're going to want to stick around until the very end, because what I've uncovered is going to blow your mind. So here's the situation. The NFL trade deadline is rapidly approaching, less than 2 weeks away now, set for Tuesday, November 4th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And while the entire league is scrambling to make moves, strengthen rosters, and position themselves for playoff runs, there's one name that keeps popping up in conversations around the league, a name that makes perfect sense for what the Lions need right now. But before I reveal who this player is and why he could be the missing link in our offensive arsenal, let me paint you a picture of where we stand. The Detroit Lions are in the middle of something special this season. We've got momentum, we've got talent, and most importantly, we've got belief. This team has shown flashes of absolute dominance, and the energy around Ford Field is electric. But if we're being honest with ourselves, and we always are here at Lions News Fan Report, there's still room for improvement. There's still that one piece, that one addition that could take us from being a really good team to being an unstoppable force in the NFC. Now, General Manager Brad Holmes has proven time and time again that he's not afraid to be aggressive. When the opportunity presents itself, he's built this roster through smart drafting, strategic free agency moves, and yes, calculated trades that have paid massive dividends. And with the trade deadline looming, you better believe he's working the phones, evaluating options, and looking for ways to maximize our championship window. Because that's exactly what this is, a championship window, and windows don't stay open forever in the NFL. Let me break down what we're looking at here. According to comprehensive league-wide analysis from top NFL insiders, there are 25 players being discussed as the best possible trade candidates. Based on the value they could bring to a new team, these aren't just any players we're talking about. These are difference makers, impact performers who could legitimately change the trajectory of a franchise's season. And one specific player on this list has caught my attention in a major way. When I think about the Detroit Lions and what we need to get over the hump, before I reveal who this player is, let's talk about what makes a trade candidate valuable right now. First, you're looking at players who are performing at a high level, but are on teams that might be out of playoff contention or looking to rebuild. Second, you want players who fit specific needs for contending teams. And third, you need players who are either on expiring contracts or team-friendly deals that make the financial aspect work. All of these factors are crucial when evaluating potential trades, and Brad Holmes knows this better than anyone. Now, the Lions' offense has been explosive this year. Jared Goff is playing at an elite level. Our receiving corps is dangerous, and the running game with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs is absolutely lethal. But here's where things get interesting. When you look at championship caliber offenses across the league, there's one position that consistently makes the difference in crucial moments, especially in the red zone and on third downs. I'm talking about the tight end position. And while we've got solid contributors, imagine adding a dynamic, versatile tight end who can stretch the field, create mismatches, and give Goff another reliable weapon in critical situations. That's where Chigoziem Okonkwo comes into the picture, the Tennessee Titans tight end who's been putting up solid numbers despite playing for a team that's clearly in rebuilding mode. Through 7 games this season, Okonkwo has hauled in 23 catches for 218 yards, showing that he's a consistent target even in a less-than-ideal situation. But here's what makes him so intriguing for the Lions. He's what scouts call a move tight end. This guy has the ability to stretch the seams, create separation, and produce significant yards after the catch. Those are exactly the traits that would make him a nightmare for defenses when paired with our current offensive weapons. Let me give you some context on what Okonkwo brings to the table. Over the past 2 seasons, he's caught more than 50 passes each year for the Titans. That's reliability, that's consistency, and that's exactly what you want from a tight end who can be deployed in multiple ways. He's got alignment versatility, meaning he can line up in line, in the slot, or even split out wide. This creates matchup problems for defenses because they have to account for him wherever he lines up, Imagine the possibilities with Ben Johnson's creative play calling. We could motion Okonkwo around, create confusion in coverage, and exploit mismatches all over the field. Now, here's where the trade market gets interesting. Okonkwo is set to become a free agent in 2026, which means the Titans are facing a decision. Do they keep him for this rebuilding season and risk losing him for nothing in free agency? Or do they capitalize on his value now and acquire draft capital or young players to build around their rookie quarterback? The smart money says they're listening to offers, and that's where the Lions should be making their move. According to league sources, there's approximately a 30% chance that Okonkwo gets traded before the deadline. Now, 30% might not sound like great odds, but in the NFL trade market, that's actually pretty significant. It means there's legitimate interest, real conversations happening, and a genuine possibility that this could get done. The Titans are being careful not to completely strip their young quarterback of all his weapons, but Okonkwo is the type of player who could garner serious interest from contending teams. And we're absolutely a contending team. Let me break down why Okonkwo makes so much sense for the Lions specifically. First, he fills a need. While we've got capable tight ends on the roster, adding a dynamic receiving threat at that position would give us another dimension. Second, he fits our offensive scheme perfectly. Ben Johnson loves using tight ends in creative ways, and Okonkwo's versatility would give him endless possibilities to scheme up big plays. Third, the financial aspect works. With Okonkwo on an expiring deal, we're not committing long-term money, which preserves our flexibility to extend our core players. And fourth, he's still young and in his prime, meaning he could contribute immediately and potentially be part of our long-term plans if things work out. Think about what our offense would look like with Okonkwo in the mix. You've got Amon-Ra St. Brown commanding attention in the slot, Jameson Williams stretching the field vertically, Sam Laporta working the middle of the field. And now you add Okonkwo as another seam-stretching threat who can create mismatches. Defenses would have no idea how to defend us. They'd have to pick their poison, and with Jared Goff's precision and Ben Johnson's creativity, we'd exploit every single weakness. Now, according to the analysis from NFL insiders, there are three teams that make the most sense as landing spots for Okonkwo: the Los Angeles Rams, the Houston Texans, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But here's what I'm telling you, the Detroit Lions should absolutely be in the conversation. We've got the draft capital to make a competitive offer, we've got the need, and most importantly, we've got the championship aspiration that would make this move worthwhile. Brad Holmes needs to get on the phone with the Titans and make this happen. The beauty of this potential trade is that it wouldn't cost us a fortune. We're not talking about giving up multiple first-round picks here. A mid-round pick, maybe a conditional selection based on performance. And we could land a player who genuinely upgrades our roster. That's the kind of smart, calculated move that championship teams make. You identify a need, you find a solution that fits your budget, and you execute. It's that simple. Let's also talk about the timing here. We're 7 games into the season, which means any player we acquire now has 10 regular season games to integrate into our system and build chemistry with the offense. That's plenty of time for Okonkwo to learn the playbook, develop rapport with Goff, and become a significant contributor before the playoffs. And if we're being honest, the playoffs are absolutely where we're headed. This team is built for a deep run, and adding another weapon only increases our chances of bringing a championship to Detroit. I know what some of you might be thinking. Do we really need to make a move? Aren't we good enough as is? And look, I get it. We've got a talented roster, and there's an argument to be made for continuity and chemistry. But here's the reality of the NFL. Championship windows are small, and you have to maximize every opportunity. If there's a chance to upgrade, even marginally, you take it, because in the playoffs, when games are decided by 1 or 2 possessions, having that extra weapon could be the difference between hosting the Lombardi Trophy and going home disappointed. The trade deadline is a fascinating time in the NFL because it separates the pretenders from the contenders. Teams that are serious about winning go out and make moves to improve. Teams that are content with being good stay pat. I don't know about you, but I didn't fall in love with this Lions team to watch them be content with good. I want great. I want championship caliber. And I believe adding Chigoziem Okonkwo gets us closer to that goal. So here's what I'm watching over the next week and a half. I'm watching to see if Brad Holmes makes any moves, if there are any rumors connecting us to Okonkwo or other impact players, and most importantly, I'm watching to see if this front office shows the same aggressive mentality that got us to this point. Because the teams that win championships aren't afraid to go all in when the opportunity presents itself. Now, I want to hear from you, Lions Nation. Do you think we should make a move for Chigoziem Okonkwo? Do you believe adding a dynamic tight end would put us over the top? Or do you think we should stick with what we have and trust in the guys in our locker room? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I read every single one, and your perspective matters. This is a community, and we're all in this together, fighting for that championship we've been dreaming about for decades. If you want to stay updated on all the latest Lions news, rumors, and analysis, make sure you're subscribed to Lions News Fan Report. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a video, and give this video a thumbs up if you found this information valuable. We're bringing you content every single day, breaking down everything you need to know about our beloved Detroit Lions. This is the place for real fans who want real information, and I'm committed to bringing you the best coverage possible. The trade deadline is November 4th. That gives Brad Holmes less than 2 weeks to make his move. The clock is ticking, Lions Nation, and the opportunity is right in front of us. Let's see if we seize it.